So this here is okay because I'll know when I'm cutting it that I want to smooth that out. Once you have your line traced, we want to make sure that this side of the paper faces your square that you're going to cut. And I don't know if you can see on the video, but I can just barely see the outline of my square through my paper. And because of how hard I've traced my line, I can see a little bit of an outline where my shape is. And also because the printout has the lake darker than the background, I can kind of see. So what I'm trying to do is center my shape on the square of paper. If you need to hold this up to a window, or if you have a light box or something, you might be able to get a little bit more visibility. But you just want to get it centered on the square because this is where you'll cut your shape, and you don't want it to be uneven or sort of asymmetrical, I guess. You want it to probably be centered unless you're leaving space for text above or below. And the way we get our traced shape, which again, this is the pencil side, the way we're going to get this onto the paper behind it is by taking our pencil again, or if you have, you can use a bone folder, something to really burnish over that pencil line without allowing your paper to shift very much. The pencil, I find, is easier to get the transfer without shifting the papers around too much. You just want to make sure you're going over your original line that's on the back of the paper. And you can check your work by making sure you hold papers in place so they don't slip. Peel it back. And now you can see that part of my line has been transferred onto the square piece of paper that I'm going to cut. Now, I've already done this so that you don't have to wait for me to do the whole step. And I also traced these smaller ponds around the main lake. And you can see my tracing isn't super perfect or super exact, but it's close enough that I can cut these lines. I kind of know where the arc is. And I'm going to use this wood carving knife to get started. For actually cutting, it's important that you keep your lines smooth. You won't see this side of the paper at the end, right? This is the side that you'll face against a glass in your frame for the finished piece. So we don't have to worry about getting exactly on the pencil line, but we do want to make sure that we're cutting a line that is smooth. So I'm making sure that if I need to stop and pick up my knife, which I encourage you to do frequently, that I get the tip back into that same path so that the line will appear to be unbroken. And here's where you want to make sure that you're moving your paper frequently so that you're always pulling the knife toward you. And I'm using a self-healing cutting mat underneath here to make sure that my surface is protected, staying in control of the blade, trying to keep my other extremities from being in front of where it's going, just in case I slip. And again, I'm not worrying too much about staying exactly on the line. Focused more on making sure that my curves stay nice and smooth. And depending on the sort of place you've chosen for your map, your shape may look very, very different. And your strategies might be a little different. If you're choosing to make a map of an urban area that's been sort sort of subdivided by blocks a lot, you might have a lot of stair step sort of shapes on your edges. And my tip to you is that, or for you, is that I can cut into this shape that I'm cutting out without worrying about the finished piece, right? So I can just come in here if I need to get, say I needed to get a sharp angle. I don't know if you can see. This piece doesn't matter. This piece is trash in the end, recycling really. So if you need to cut into this shape to get your outside shape to be as pristine as possible, go for it. That might make it easier if you have a less organic shape. So I have finished cutting a different one, and you can see here on the edge I've got some pencil line, but it doesn't matter because my map is backwards, except my map is correct.